What if the legend of Dracula was more than just a myth? Before Dracula, there were others. Ancient visitors from the stars. Dracula's secret is not of this earth. Dracula's extraterrestrial origins, vampires and visitors.
Vlad III, known to history as Vlad the Impaler or Vlad Dracula, was a 15th century ruler of Wallachia, a historical region in what is now Romania. His reign is marked by a series of military campaigns and a political strategy rooted in fear and strict order. Born in 1431 in Sighisoara, Vlad was a member of the House of Draculesti, a branch of the House of Basarab, and was the second son of Vlad II Dracul. Raised in a time of constant warfare, Vlad's early experiences were shaped by political intrigue and the brutal realities of medieval power struggles. He was held hostage by the Ottoman Empire for a period during which he witnessed the empire's methods of control and intimidation. These experiences would later influence his own rule. Upon ascending to the throne of Wallachia, Vlad faced the daunting task of securing his position and defending his territory from both internal rivals and external threats, particularly the encroaching Ottoman forces. To consolidate his power, Vlad employed a ruthless approach, famously impaling his enemies and anyone who challenged his authority. This gruesome method of execution not only eliminated his foes, but also served as a stark warning to others. Vlad's military campaigns were characterized by his use of guerrilla tactics and psychological warfare. He skillfully used the dense forests and rugged terrain of Wallachia to his advantage, launching surprise attacks on Ottoman troops and employing scorched earth strategies to hinder their advance. His most famous victory came in 1462, during the night attack at Targovist, where he led a daring assault on the Ottoman camp, causing chaos and significant casualties among the enemy ranks. Despite his brutal methods, Vlad the Impaler is remembered not just for his cruelty, but also for his efforts to strengthen and protect his homeland. His legacy is a complex tapestry of heroism and horror, a reflection of the turbulent times in which he lived. In the next segment, we delve into the fascinating theory connecting Vlad Dracula with extraterrestrial visitors and the origins of the vampire myth. As we delve deeper into the legend of Vlad the Impaler and his possible extraterrestrial origins, it's essential to explore the folklore and myths surrounding vampires in different cultures. Vampires, as creatures of the night, have fascinated humanity for centuries, and their tales are woven into the fabric of many societies across the globe. Let's begin with Eastern Europe, the cradle of the Dracula legend. Here, vampires, or strigoi, are often depicted as restless spirits of the dead, rising from their graves to feed on the blood of the living. These beings are said to have the ability to transform into animals, such as wolves or bats, which eerily aligns with the shape-shifting abilities attributed to Dracula. In Greece, the Vrikolakas is a vampire-like creature that roams the countryside, preying on unsuspecting villagers. Unlike the strigoi, the Vrikolakas is often associated with a curse, believed to be the result of improper burial rites or an unavenged death. This connection to the supernatural and the afterlife adds another layer of complexity to the vampire myth. Moving to Asia, we encounter the Jiangshi of Chinese folklore. These hopping vampires are reanimated corpses that feed on the life force of the living. Unlike their European counterparts, the Jiangshi are often depicted with stiff limbs, which is why they are said to move by hopping. The Jiangshi legend highlights the universal fear of death and the unknown, themes that resonate deeply with the Dracula story. In Africa, the Asasabonsum of the Akan people presents a unique take on the vampire myth. This creature is said to have iron teeth and hooks for feet, lurking in the treetops to snatch unsuspecting victims. The Asasa bonsum's terrifying appearance and predatory nature echo the fearsome reputation of Vlad the Impaler. South America brings us the legend of the chupacabra, a creature that drains the blood of livestock. While not a vampire in the traditional sense, the chupacabra shares the blood-sucking trait that is central to vampire lore. This modern myth demonstrates how the vampire archetype continues to evolve and adapt to different cultural contexts. Interestingly, many of these vampire myths share common elements with the Dracula legend: blood-sucking, shape-shifting, and a connection to the supernatural. Could these similarities point to a shared origin, perhaps rooted in ancient encounters with beings beyond our understanding? The idea that vampires might be inspired by extraterrestrial visitors becomes even more intriguing when we consider the global prevalence of these myths. Could it be that different cultures have interpreted similar phenomena in their unique ways, giving rise to the diverse vampire legends we know today? As we explore these myths, it's clear that the vampire archetype is a powerful symbol of our deepest fears and desires. Whether seen as cursed beings, reanimated corpses, or alien visitors, vampires continue to captivate our imaginations, drawing us into a world where the line between reality and myth blurs. In our next segment, we'll delve into the theory connecting Vlad Dracula with extraterrestrial visitors and the origins of the vampire myth. Stay tuned as we unravel the cosmic threads that weave through the Dracula legend and beyond. As we journey through the realms of myth and legend, it's time to ground ourselves in the world of modern science. The concept of vampirism has deep roots not only in folklore, but also in the annals of medical history. In this segment, we'll explore the fascinating genetic mutations and medical conditions that mirror the traits of vampires, shedding light on how these ancient myths might be rooted in real-life phenomena. To understand the science behind vampirism, we must first delve into the genetic disorders that could explain some of the most iconic vampire characteristics. Porphyria, for instance, is a group of disorders caused by abnormalities in the production of heme, a component of hemoglobin. Some forms of porphyria can cause severe sensitivity to sunlight, leading to blistering and skin damage upon exposure to UV rays. This condition might explain the vampire's aversion to sunlight, a key element of the Dracula myth. But the connections don't stop there. We spoke with Dr. Emily Carter, a geneticist specializing in rare disorders, to gain deeper insights. Dr. Emily Carter: porphyria is a fascinating disorder that has been linked to vampire legends for years. The sensitivity to light, combined with symptoms like receding gums, which can cause teeth to appear more prominent, could easily be seen as vampiric traits. In historical times, without the understanding we have today, these symptoms would have seemed supernatural. Another intriguing condition is erythropoietic protoporphyria, EPP, which also causes extreme photosensitivity. Patients with EPP must avoid sunlight, leading to a nocturnal lifestyle reminiscent of the vampire's nocturnal nature. Dr. Jonathan Reed: EPP is particularly interesting because it forces individuals to live much of their lives in darkness. These patients often develop a pale complexion due to their lack of sun exposure, further aligning with the traditional vampire image. Beyond genetic disorders, there are also psychological conditions that might contribute to the vampire mythos. Renfield syndrome, also known as clinical vampirism, is a rare psychiatric condition where individuals have an obsession with drinking blood. This compulsion, while extremely rare, provides a real-world basis for the blood-drinking aspect of vampire legends. Dr. Laura Mitchell: Renfield syndrome is a fascinating and rare condition. Those affected often have a deep psychological need to consume blood, and this compulsion can be traced back to early childhood experiences. While it's not common, it does provide a concrete example of how the vampire myth could be rooted in real human behavior. These scientific insights offer a compelling explanation for the vampire archetype, suggesting that ancient myths may have been inspired by real medical conditions. The intersection of genetics, psychology, and folklore paints a picture of how human understanding evolves over time, transforming inexplicable phenomena into legendary tales. As we continue to unravel the mysteries of Dracula and vampirism, it's clear that the line between myth and reality is often blurred. The genetic mutations and medical marvels that mimic vampire traits remind us that even the most fantastical legends can have a basis in the real world. In our next segment, we'll delve into the theory connecting Vlad Dracula with extraterrestrial visitors and the origins of the vampire myth. Stay tuned as we unravel the cosmic threads that weave through the Dracula legend and beyond. Hey everyone, let's dive deeper into the Dracula legend and check out some old Romanian writings that talk about technology way ahead of their time. These stories, often brushed aside as just folklore, might actually hold clues about a super advanced civilization, maybe even aliens. We're starting our journey with medieval books that describe crazy gadgets and events that seem impossible for their time. One book, called the Codex Gigas, or the Devil's Bible, has drawings and descriptions of what looks like advanced machinery. These devices, drawn with amazing detail, look a lot like modern technology, which is kind of creepy. Let's hear from Dr. Elena Popescu, a historian who knows a lot about old Romanian writings. She says, "The Codex Gigas is a really cool book. The drawings of machines and things flying in the air are super detailed, which makes you think they knew more about technology back then than we thought. Some people think these drawings are just symbols, but others think they could be based on real things they saw, or knowledge passed down from a really advanced civilization. But the Codex Gigas isn't the only clue. Other old Romanian writings, like the Necronomicon of the East, talk about sky chariots and magical devices that could control the elements and even fly. These descriptions sound a lot like our modern ideas of anti-gravity technology and super advanced engines. Dr. Adrian Ionescu, who researches old technology, explains, "The Necronomicon of the East is full of mentions of gadgets that seem to use energy in ways we still don't understand. These sky chariots could be early descriptions of what we now call UFOs. It's both exciting and scary to think that these stories might be based on real technology." One super interesting thing mentioned is a device called the Orb of Light. It's described in several writings as a source of incredible power and knowledge. They say ancient rulers used this orb to talk to beings from other planets, making it hard to tell what's a myth and what's real. Dr. Maria Petrescu, an expert on old artifacts, shares her thoughts. The Orb of Light pops up again and again in Romanian folklore. The way it's described makes it seem like it was more than just a symbol. It was a tool, maybe even from aliens, used to gain knowledge and power. It's a very cool idea to think that such a device existed and was used by ancient rulers. These writings also talk about underground rooms with weird stuff, like walls that glow and floors that vibrate with a strange energy. Could these be leftovers of alien technology waiting for us to find them? Let's hear from archaeologist Dr. Andrei Vasilescu. We found ancient rooms that we can't explain. The materials used and the things they do are unlike anything we've ever seen. These discoveries make us think that whoever built these rooms had access to advanced technology, maybe even from aliens. As we put these ancient clues together, it seems like the line between legends and reality is blurry. The technology talked about in these writings suggests a secret history, one that's connected to the Dracula legend and hints at a link with beings from other worlds. Stay tuned as we keep exploring the mysteries of Dracula and the cosmic connections to his legend. Up next, we'll discuss the theory that Vlad Dracula met aliens and how that might be connected to the vampire myth. This journey is just getting started. Welcome back, fellow seekers of the unknown. As we continue our journey through the enigmatic tale of Dracula, let's turn our gaze to the heavens. Today, we delve into the celestial blueprints of Vlad the Impaler's castles and their astronomical alignments. These alignments are not just architectural coincidences, but may hold deeper significance in vampire lore. Picture this: the towering Carpathian Mountains, where Vlad's fortresses stand as sentinels against time. But these ancient structures are more than just relics of a brutal past. They are, in fact, meticulously aligned with the stars. Yes, the very stars that have guided sailors and mystics alike for millennia. Let's start with Poenari Castle, Vlad's primary stronghold. Researchers have discovered that its layout is aligned with the constellation Draco, the dragon. Coincidence? Perhaps not. The constellation Draco has long been associated with dragons and serpents, creatures often linked to the vampire mythos. Could it be that Vlad chose this alignment to channel the cosmic power of the dragon? Dr. Radu Mihailescu, an expert in archaeoastronomy, explains, "The alignment of Poenari Castle with Draco is fascinating. It suggests that Vlad had knowledge of celestial events and their significance. The dragon, a symbol of power and immortality, fits perfectly with the vampire legend." But Poenari is just the beginning. Other castles, like Bran Castle, often mistakenly referred to as Dracula's castle, also show remarkable astronomical alignments. Bran Castle is aligned with the summer solstice, a time traditionally associated with renewal and transformation. Could this alignment signify a deeper connection to the cycles of life and death, themes central to the vampire lore? Dr. Adriana Vasile, a historian specializing in medieval Romania, adds, "The alignment with the summer solstice is intriguing. It suggests that these structures were not just defensive fortresses, but also had a ritualistic purpose. The solstice, a time when the veil between worlds is thin, could have been used for ceremonies or even communication with other realms." And then there's the mysterious Hunyadi Castle, aligned with the Orion constellation, known as the Hunter. Orion's alignment with the castle could symbolize Vlad's relentless pursuit of his enemies, or perhaps it signifies something more otherworldly. Dr. Elena Popescu, a specialist in ancient symbology, offers her insights. Orion has been associated with gods and heroes in many cultures. Its alignment with Hunyadi Castle could indicate that Vlad saw himself as a divine or semi-divine figure. The hunter becomes the hunted, a theme that resonates deeply with the vampire mythos. These celestial alignments are not just random. They are deliberate and calculated. They suggest that Vlad's castles were more than mere earthly fortresses. They were cosmic gateways that perhaps connected our world with the stars and maybe even beyond. The astronomical alignments add a fascinating layer to the Dracula legend. They imply a knowledge of the cosmos and its power that goes beyond mere superstition. Could it be that these alignments were designed to harness cosmic energy, or to communicate with beings from the stars? As we piece together these celestial clues, the story of Vlad the Impaler transforms from a tale of blood and terror to one of cosmic significance. The stars have always held secrets, and perhaps they hold the key to understanding the true nature of Dracula. Stay tuned as we continue this cosmic journey, delving deeper into the mysteries of Dracula's extraterrestrial origins. The stars have much to tell, and we are just beginning to listen, Ad. Until next time, Dushi, keep your eyes on the skies. The universe is vast and full of secrets, and who knows what we might discover if we keep looking to. The story of Dracula, intertwined with the mysteries of the cosmos, invites us to look beyond the surface and question everything we thought we knew. And maybe, just maybe, the next time you gaze at the night sky, You'll wonder if Vlad was looking up at the same stars as you, but with a knowledge that transcends time and space. Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deeper into the mysteries surrounding Dracula, but with a modern twist. Today we're talking about UFO sightings in Romania, and how they might be linked to the old vampire stories that have been around for hundreds of years. Picture this: a quiet night in the Romanian countryside. No wind, bright stars, and suddenly a weird light shows up in the sky. It zips around faster than anything you've ever seen, and everyone who sees it is both amazed and scared. This isn't a movie, it's something that lots of people in Romania say they've seen. UFO sightings in Romania aren't new. People have been reporting them since the early 1900s. But lately, there have been more and more of these sightings. Could these modern UFOs have something to do with the old vampire stories from Transylvania? Dr. Ionel Petrescu, a UFO expert, says the Carpathian Mountains are a popular spot for UFOs. The local stories are full of strange lights and otherworldly creatures. It's interesting to think that these new UFO sightings could be the same things that inspired the vampire legends. One of the most interesting cases happened in the summer of 2013, in the small town of Sighisoara. People saw a big triangle-shaped thing floating silently above the town. It made a low humming noise and had flashing lights. People who saw it felt really scared, kind of like the fear people associate with vampires. Maria Luca, a local historian, says, "The sightings in Sighisoara were like nothing we'd ever seen. Everyone was really afraid. It reminded me of the old vampire stories my grandma told me. It's really strange how similar they are." But there's more. Near Hunedoara, where the famous Corvin Castle is, people have seen strange things. Weird lights, mysterious figures, and even human-like creatures with glowing eyes. These sound a lot like how vampires are described in Romanian stories. Dr. Emilia Popovici, an expert on vampire myths, says, "The similarities between UFOs and vampire stories are too many to ignore. They both happen at night, involve strange lights, and feel otherworldly. Maybe what we call UFOs today were once thought of as vampires." Could these UFOs be the same things that started the vampire legends? Are we seeing the same visitors, but understanding them differently? What if these creatures, whether they're from another planet or another dimension, have been visiting us for centuries? Maybe the vampire legends are just how our ancestors explained these strange encounters. Dr. Adrian Ionescu, a paranormal expert, says, "The idea that vampires and UFOs are connected isn't so crazy. Both are about things we don't understand. The vampire legends could be old records of these encounters, passed down to us." As we look into these new sightings, we have more questions than answers. The links between UFOs and vampire legends make us think differently about history, stories, and the unknown. Stay tuned as we explore these mysteries. The night sky is full of secrets, and the connections between the past and present are waiting to be discovered. Until next time, keep looking up. The truth is out there, and it might be closer than we think. Welcome back, curious minds. As we stand on the precipice of history and legend, let's take a moment to reflect on the fascinating journey we've embarked upon. We've delved into the enigmatic life of Vlad the Impaler, explored the rich tapestry of vampire folklore, and examined the uncanny similarities between vampire myths and modern UFO sightings. But what does it all mean? Let's piece together the puzzle. We've heard from Dr. Ionel Petrescu, who pointed out the Carpathian Mountains as a hotspot for UFO activity. We've listened to Maria Luca, who drew eerie parallels between modern sightings and ancient vampire tales, and Dr. Emilia Popovici, who highlighted the striking resemblances between UFO phenomena and vampire stories. Could these be mere coincidences, or do they hint at a deeper, interconnected truth? We've also revisited the life of Vlad the Impaler, whose reign was shrouded in both historical fact and supernatural legend. The strange lights seen over his castle, the tales of sky chariots, and medieval manuscripts depicting aerial phenomena all suggest that Vlad's story may have extraterrestrial ties. Genetic research has shown us that certain mutations mimic vampire traits: sensitivity to sunlight, a need for blood, and extended longevity. Could these traits have been engineered by an advanced civilization? The idea that ancient alien visitors could have influenced human genetics is both compelling and chilling. We've uncovered ancient Romanian texts describing advanced technologies and celestial alignments of Vlad's castles. Could these be remnants of extraterrestrial knowledge? The recurring themes in vampire lore and the unexplained phenomena around old vampire sites suggest a history that intertwines with the cosmos. So where does this leave us? The legacy of Dracula is more than a tale of horror. It's a complex narrative that spans centuries and possibly even galaxies. As we continue to explore space and unravel our genetic secrets, we may uncover truths that reshape our understanding of history and our place in the universe. The future of vampire research and extraterrestrial connections is wide open. With advancements in technology, we may soon have the tools to decode the mysteries that have eluded us for centuries. Who knows what secrets the night sky holds, or what ancient knowledge lies hidden in our DNA? Until then, we can only speculate and continue to explore. The story of Dracula, with its blend of legend, history, and the unknown, invites us to look beyond the surface and question everything we thought we knew. The truth is out there, waiting to be discovered. Stay curious, keep exploring, and remember, the universe is vast and full of secrets. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies. Picture this: the dark, brooding Carpathian Mountains, the heart of Transylvania, a place where the air is thick with ancient secrets and the land whispers tales of old. The very soil seems to breathe with the weight of centuries of history, and every shadow hides a story waiting to be told, a place shrouded in mystery and legend. But what if I told you that the origins of the most infamous vampire of all time might be out of this world? Yes, the very Dracula who has haunted our imaginations for generations might have a backstory that stretches beyond the confines of our planet. Imagine, if you will, a narrative that intertwines the eerie folklore of Transylvania with the vast, uncharted realms of the cosmos. Yep, we're talking about Dracula, and the possibility of his extraterrestrial origins. This isn't just a wild theory, it's a tantalizing blend of history, legend, and the unknown. The idea that Dracula might not just be a creature of the night, but a being from the stars, opens up a whole new dimension to his story. Now, let's take a step back to the 15th century, a time when the world was a very different place, and the line between reality and myth was often blurred. It was an era of superstition, where the unexplained was often attributed to the supernatural. Vlad the Impaler, the real-life inspiration for Count Dracula, ruled with an iron fist. His reign was marked by brutality and fear, earning him a reputation that would echo through the ages. But what if there was more to his story than just his ruthless tactics? Historical accounts already paint him as a nearly supernatural figure. But here's where it gets interesting. What if his almost otherworldly presence was not just a product of his actions, but of his origins? Could it be that Vlad's fearsome reputation was bolstered by something far beyond human comprehension? Strange lights were reportedly seen in the skies above his castle during his reign. Coincidence? I think not. These lights, described in various accounts, were unlike anything the people of that time had ever seen. Could they have been visitors from another world drawn to Vlad for reasons we can only speculate? Romanian folk tales are rife with stories of sky chariots, medieval manuscripts depicting aerial phenomena that can't be explained by the science of their time. These tales, passed down through generations, speak of encounters with beings that descended from the heavens. Could these stories be more than just the product of vivid imaginations? Some local legends even suggest that Vlad communicated with beings from the stars. Could these stories be hinting at alien visitors? The idea that Vlad might have had contact with extraterrestrial entities adds a fascinating layer to his already complex character. What if his infamous cruelty was influenced by knowledge or technology from beyond our world? Let's dive deeper. Modern science has taken a stab at understanding vampirism. And guess what? There are genetic mutations that mimic vampire traits. Sensitivity to sunlight, a need for blood, and even extended longevity in isolated populations. These traits, while rare, are very real and have been documented in various studies. There are genetic mutations that mimic vampire traits. Sensitivity to sunlight, a need for blood, and even extended longevity in isolated populations. These genetic anomalies could be the result of natural evolution, or perhaps something more deliberate. Could these traits have been engineered? The possibility that these characteristics were introduced by an advanced civilization is both intriguing and unsettling. Could these traits have been engineered? If so, by whom? And for what purpose? The idea that an ancient civilization, possibly from another world, could have manipulated human genetics to create beings with vampire-like traits is a concept that challenges our understanding of history and science. But wait, there's more. Unexplained technological references pop up in ancient Romanian texts. These texts, often dismissed as mere folklore, contain descriptions of devices and phenomena that seem far too advanced for their time. Could these be remnants of knowledge passed down from an extraterrestrial source? Magic devices? Underground chambers with unusual properties? These descriptions, found in various ancient manuscripts, suggest the presence of technology that defies our current understanding. Were these vampires actually advanced beings or their descendants? The idea that these beings possessed knowledge and technology far beyond what was available at the time is a tantalizing possibility. Sounds like advanced technology to me. Were these vampires actually advanced beings or their descendants? If so, what was their purpose here on Earth? Were they simply observers, or did they have a more active role in shaping human history? The implications of this theory are profound, suggesting a hidden history that intertwines with our own. Now, take a look at the star maps. Vlad's castles are astronomically aligned. This alignment, far from being a mere coincidence, suggests a deeper connection to the cosmos. Could it be that these structures were designed with celestial events in mind? The precision of these alignments indicates a level of astronomical knowledge that is truly remarkable. Star charts appear in the journals of vampire hunters. Ancient Romanian cave art depicts sky beings. These depictions, found in various locations, suggest that the connection between vampires and the stars is not a recent invention. Could it be that these ancient artists were recording actual events, encounters with beings from the heavens? And these celestial patterns, they keep coming up in vampire lore around the world. Could it be that vampires were actually extraterrestrial blood scientists? The recurring themes of blood and celestial events in vampire myths suggest a connection that transcends cultures and time periods. What if these beings were conducting experiments, using human populations as their subjects? Fast forward to today. UFO sightings in modern Romania. Strange phenomena around old vampire sites. These sightings, often dismissed as mere coincidence, could be evidence of ongoing extraterrestrial activity. The fact that these phenomena are concentrated around locations associated with vampire legends is particularly intriguing. And genetic studies of local populations that hint at something unusual. Modern blood research might even be scratching the surface of these ancient mysteries. The discovery of unusual genetic markers in these populations suggests a link to the past that we are only beginning to understand. Could these markers be the remnants of ancient genetic engineering? So, where does this leave us? Dracula's legacy is more than just a tale of horror. It's a puzzle that spans centuries, and possibly even galaxies. The story of Dracula, when viewed through the lens of this theory, becomes a rich tapestry of history, legend, and the unknown. It's a puzzle that spans centuries, and possibly even galaxies. The connections between Dracula, ancient technology, and extraterrestrial visitors suggest a narrative that is far more complex than we ever imagined. As we continue to explore space and unravel the secrets of our own genetics, who knows what truths we might uncover? As we continue to explore space and unravel the secrets of our own genetics, who knows what truths we might uncover? The answers to these questions could reshape our understanding of history, science, and our place in the universe. The legacy of Dracula, intertwined with the mysteries of the cosmos, invites us to look beyond the surface and question everything we thought we knew. Until next time, keep your eyes on the skies. The universe is vast and full of secret, and who knows what we might discover if we keep looking. The story of Dracula, with its blend of history, legend, and the unknown, reminds us that the truth is often stranger than fiction. And maybe, just maybe, the next time you read about Dracula, you'll wonder if he was looking up at the same stars as you, but from a very different perspective. A perspective that spans not just centuries, but light years. The story of Dracula, when viewed through this lens, becomes a tale of cosmic proportions, inviting us to explore the unknown and embrace the mysteries of the universe.